Joining me now is Doug Herbert, our international affairs commentator. Douglas, what do you make of what the General just had to say?
Look, Annette, it's straight out of the playbook of coup d'etat 101. It's the basic course here. You delegitimize the authorities, the civilian authorities that you've just overthrown. You try to discredit them. You try to present a facade of democracy. One of the lines that came out of these statements was that the military junta now is going to create what they called, quote, a true democracy. And that is unlike what they've seen in previous military regimes. In Myanmar, they're very cognizant of the fact that this is a country that's very much aware most of the citizens have lived under military rule for most of their lives. For the past half century, the military has been really in control, with the exception of the past 5 to 6 years. So they want to really try to, the emphasis at this press conference was in these remarks, was to erase any impression that this military, that this was going to be like the times past, a brutal military dictatorship. They're trying to present a softer, kinder sort of military junta, a softer, kinder takeover. They have everything under control. There will be reforms in the country. Foreign policy will remain unchanged. Foreign and direct investment is still invited in the country. It's almost like, carry on, keep walking, nothing to see here. Rest assured, we have things under control. And that's really their strategy. They want to try to discredit the civilian leadership of Aung San Suu Kyi, now under house arrest, basically discredit her in the COVID management, in the management of the economy, and even on issues like brokering peace agreements with insurgents and ethnic insurgents across the country. There are many different factions. So they want to show, by contrast, they are going to be effective, where their predecessor, led by Aung San Suu Kyi, was ineffective. If you ask me if they did a good job, I don't think anyone's is falling for it. It's basically a farce. It's a facade of democracy, and they're doing what they feel they have to do, the bare minimum, to try to at least present a kinder, gentler face. But unless you're extremely gullible, I don't think any of those protesters, definitely on the streets, were taking it. And I even think that hardened people who are not out on the streets, most Myanmar citizens who were watching this, probably had a sense of deja vu of some of the worst times in their recent history all over again.
And that's what I want to ask you, Doug. I mean, keeping in mind that 80% of the vote in that last election went to the party of Aung San Suu Kyi. So how do you think this general speech is going to go down with those protesters?
Look, first of all, let's give the context here, Annette. This speech, these remarks were made by this general at the very same time, or an hour after they announced that there's going to be an 8 p.m. to 4 a.m. curfew across the country, and at the same time banning groups of more than 5 from gathering for protest or any other reason. So, it's a little rich here saying that you're going to be a democracy, and yet at the same time, your actions speak louder than your actual words, because the actions show that they are tightening the noose, that they are doing everything possible to snuff out these protests. And if I were a betting man, and you don't have to go out on a limb to say it, no, I don't think this is going to snuff out the protests. Like I said, I don't think anyone's really buying this. I think this is sort of what you would have expected the generals to say. And I'll just mention that the top general in this military junta himself, he was due to retire next July. A lot of people, though, say that he also had his eyes on the presidency himself. Now, we know that Aung San Suu Kyi created a new position higher than the presidency, a top civilian position. However, the fact this general is said to have had his eyes on the presidency shows that those elections that the military says that they are going to organize, which will be free and fair elections in their words, I would almost guarantee you that if those elections don't render a result that would make it more likely for the military to retain their control, and for the military party perhaps to put one of their own in power, perhaps in that presidential position, they're not going to accept those elections either. So yeah, democracy, as long as it's democracy to the liking of this military junta and their people and the people that they believe should be in control of the country.
Doug Herbert, thank you for that.